Well, let's go and calculate how you calculate your actual PERS pension. Okay, you're going to take your years of service. So we're going to say this person has 20 years of service. Let's say they're 63 years old, and I'll tell you why that's important in a minute. And their monthly salary is $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month. We're just using a general example here. You could use any other numbers. That is going to be that person gets half. So you take the 20 years, so that's going to be 50% of that 3,000. So you're going to multiply that times 0.5. No, 63-year-old, I'm sorry. But it's at 63 years old, your pension calculation for PERS is 2.5%. And I'll explain different amounts in just a minute, but I just wanted to use this as an example. So that person's pension is going to be $1,500 a month. If you multiply it times 12, that person's pension is going to be $18,000 a year. Now, you could punch any other numbers into that at that age. So if you had 10 years of service, had this, it's going to be half this. It's going to be $750. Because you guys are under the compensation of 2% at age 55. So what that means is the highest the calculation goes is at the age of 63, and that's 2.5%. It starts at 1.1% at the age of 50 and goes up. So to give you an example, at like 51, it's 1.28%. It goes up every year. And actually, PERS goes up every quarter year. So as an example, at the age of 50, just to make it an easy example, your exact year, it would be 1.1%. At a quarter year, it's going to be 1.146. It goes up every quarter. But the max you can do, let me stress again, is that 2.5%. So if you're 68 years old, under this scenario, okay, this 2.5 is going to stay the same, but now you have 25 years of service. So you'd calculate that out and your pension's going to be higher. I saw a question. If you could push your button, please.
So if you retire at 60, you're at 2%, but it doesn't go up once you reach 63 to 2.5%, correct?
Well, it's 2% at the age of 55. At the age of 60, it's 2.314.
But I'm just saying, as you get older, does your percentage go up, or do you get whatever age you retire at, that's the percent you stay at?
No. It caps out at the age of 63. So if you're 64 or 65, you get another year of service credit, but the max benefit factor, as it's called, is 2.5%. So the key number you want to think about is age of 63. After the age of 63, maybe your salary will go up and the amount of years of service, but this benefit percentage will not. Does that answer your question?
I don't think so.
Not really.
I think she's saying if you...
No,
okay,
let me say what I think I'm saying.
Okay.
So if I retire at 55, I get 2% of my salary.
Correct.
When I reach the age of 63, even though I've retired at 55, does it go up to that?
No, it does not.
That
That's
was my question.
Good question. No.
So you really want to wait till 63 to get your max benefit?
Yeah, that's why generally we tell people the longer you work, a couple things happen. You get one more year of service credit, and it's been one less year that you're retired. And you've been able to maybe save more money, and your pension's going to be higher. So generally, yeah, there's a big difference if you retire at the age of, say, 58 versus 63. I mean, that number goes from 2.188 to 2.5. So you multiply that by how many years of service, and it goes up very quickly. And that's one of the things you would want to do on your own, and you can go to the CalPERS website and do those. And somebody asked me earlier, if you're interested, where I'm actually getting these benefit factors, this is page 22 of the CalPERS member booklet for state miscellaneous and industrial workers. But it's the same for school employees. And if you're interested in getting the publication from the state there, this is on the web. It's the Your Benefits, Your Future, What You Need to Know About CalPERS School Benefits. And this is for school employees, and actually the people in here are from San Juan Unified and Folsom Cordova, so maybe you know them, I don't know. But the pictures of the people in here are from San Juan and Folsom Cordova. I think Roger had a question, then I'll answer yours.
So the years of service and the 2.5 is a multiplier, and at the age 63 it doesn't matter, it's going to be 2.5 multiplied by the amount of years that you've put in with the district at the age of 63.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's that age multiplier. That's a good way to think of it, yes. I know that the terminology gets kind of confusing out there. So it's years of service times what they call the benefit factor, which again, if we're using that 63-year-old, that's going to be the 2.5%, and we use the 20 years of service times the final compensation, a percentage of final, or excuse me, the years of service times your final comp, then equals the benefit. And let me explain, because I'm sure somebody's going to ask, how do they calculate final comp? So before you even get a chance to ask it, let me read it to you, because this was asked in the last session. Final compensation. Final compensation is your average, and again, this is from the school members booklet that I'm reading from on page 5. Final compensation is your average full-time pay rate and special compensation for the last consecutive 12 months of employment. We will use your full-time pay rate, not your earnings. If you work part-time, we will use your full-time equivalent pay rate to determine your final compensation. If you think there was another period of 12 consecutive months during which your final compensation was higher, let us know when you apply for retirement. We will use that period to determine your final compensation. Any other questions? If you can ask, push the button in the back there.
So what you're saying, you take your last 12 years, you add them all together, and divide by 12, and it'll give you your amount that you're looking for.
Generally, yes. But I would stress that you want to ask PERS directly, because if there's a little bit of a difference, you'd want to do that. But yes, I would say generally that's going to give you a very good very close to that number it's going to be. You can also go to CalPERS website, punch in your own information. They've got your information there, and they'll tell you to the dollar. Didn't used to be that way. Now it's great. You can go in and do it online. Yes, you had a question.
Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about the distribution involved in this. There are some people within the district that feel that it is going to be a tax-free distribution. Are you aware of that?
No, but I will tell you why that has happened. Before 1986, you had what I think it was called the pickup of contributions. And before that time, the amount of money you put in was with an after-tax dollar. So when you get your W-4P, your pension amount at the end of the year, the tax year, let's say your pension was the $30,000, maybe $500 was not taxed to you because you already paid taxes. So that's where typically that misconception comes. But it is not tax-free, because the money that you're putting in, that 7% that you put in is tax-deferred. If you look, you don't pay, that 7% that goes in, you don't pay taxes on. If you look at your pay stub, it's going to say taxable amount. And let's just use a quick example. You paid $1,000 is your pay. So $70 went in. Your taxable amount that you were taxed on in that scenario without any other money coming out is $930.
Okay, I understand that part. But your prevailing tax rate, whichever percentage is in the chart,
yes,
you're going to pay on a monthly distribution on this.
Correct. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that we have the lowest tax brackets right now that you're going to see in your own lifetime. That's another presentation that I give on how to pay less in taxes.